Are we live? Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the Joe Show. I want to say we got sound. Let me see. Let me make sure I can hear myself first before I do anything. Let's see here. And let me check this. Man, it's late. It's what time is it? It's almost 11 o'clock at night on a Wednesday. What is today's date? The 4th. Today is the 4th, and this makes the second night in a row that I haven't worked because of the storm, the hurricane that is coming. So let me see if we're live. Let me look. Oh God, let's see. Let's see if we got stuff going on here. Things slow. Okay, let me check this. Hang on. Not a lot of room to move around in here. Just bear with me for just 1 minute. And let's see if we got this going here. Let's see if we got check one, check one. Do we got any volume? That sounds good. Already September. Yeah, man. Take your time, no rush. I appreciate it. All right, let's check this out here. Boy, that's real choppy, man. That's real choppy. That's because I'm using the YouTube live streaming app. So I usually use a different app, but you know, when I did the outside live thing, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago or whatever, I used that other live streaming app, and I like it a lot better because it's the picture's better and the sound is not choppy like this, you know. So I just hope everything works all right. Y'all let me know, man, what it sounds like to y'all. You know, I don't want to waste nobody's time here. Things get too bad, I'll just you know, scrap it. So that's a little test run right there. Let me see who I was in here. I know this is late. I'm sorry, but I am I'm off tonight. Like I said, this is my second night I've been off, and thanks to Hurricane Dorian that's messing everything up, right? Hurricane Dorian's messing everything up. And so now I get messages going off here. My goodness gracious. And So my boss sends me a message earlier today, right? And he's like, "We might have you run tomorrow night." And I'm like, "Are you serious? I got to deliver to Myrtle Beach, And I'm like, I can't go there. I mean, they're talking. That's going to be the highest. What is it called? Waves. Surge or whatever. 5 to 8 foot. And I was like, man, surely to God they got to be watching the Weather Channel. You know, personally for us, we're where I live at here, we're like 5.5 hours from the coast. You know, um, but Myrtle Beach is where I usually deliver. You know, a lot, and I was supposed to go there a few times this week, but Dorian's messing that up, like I said, and the supervisor's like, "We might have you run tomorrow night and Friday night," and I'm like, "Hey, man, ain't that when the hurricane's supposed to hit? Come on now." Oh well, we'll keep an eye on it and see what the winds and stuff does. It's, whatever, man. Let me see. Let me look at the chat. I'm trying to give a few minutes for people to get in here, man. 2019 Chaos Music, already September. Yes, and September kicks off hurricane season, from what I understand. JJ Collins, man, how are you doing, sir? Thank you for jumping in. Let's see. Sounds good. Oh, okay. Thank you, man. I don't, like I did a test run last night and just left it unlisted. And when I went to lay down and listen to it, I was using the YouTube live streaming app like I'm doing now. And I was like, man, I don't know. I might go back to using the other app, but like I said, when I did the outside live thing a couple weeks ago, it dropped, and that is the first time that app has ever dropped. And I was like, "What the hell?" And I wasn't using Wi-Fi or nothing, but it's just what can you do, man? You can only do what you can do, right? Let's see here. Pooh Ninja, what's going on, man? I got ads popping up on this thing everywhere. I don't use this tablet much at all. Dry heat. Hey, man, what's going on? Just keep yourself and family safe. Thank you, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're safe where we're at. I don't even think we're supposed to get anything from it. We're so far inland uh, from that hurricane. But hey, man, anything can happen with weather and all that stuff. Anything can happen. Mother Nature is unpredictable, as we know, right? Milkshakes. Poo Ninja, yeah. Absolutely, man. I'm telling you. They must have I know they were having the mandatory evacuation in Charleston. I know that started a day or two ago, and I believe it must have started for Myrtle Beach like the next night, because when I went down there, all the traffic that was coming out of there was incredible. I mean, it was just, man, and this was like at 10:30 at night, and people were just, it was Sunday. That was Sunday, this past Sunday. Yeah. And everybody was moving, boy. Headstock Harem. Hey, man, how are you? Thank you very much for being in here. So anyway, I said, shoot, man, we'll just do a late jam. Nothing fancy. When you come here, it ain't nothing fancy. It's just a lot, just having some fun, right? Check my tuning. This Telecaster I'm playing, if you're subbed to this channel, familiar with some of the stories I've told, this Tele is the one that my my wife got for me from a music store that they don't sell guitars anymore. They sell like, well, I don't even know if the place is even still in business. I don't know. I haven't been down that way in so long. Uh, but this is a what is this? This is a 2008 Fender Tele. Uh, and the story with it is I've told it before, but for people who are new here, I'll share it again. So if you've heard this story, just bear with me, please. But my wife went to get me this on layaway at this music store, right? And I remember when we went together, uh, and I saw this guitar. It was, of course, it was hanging up there on the wall, and I picked it up, and I was like, "Man, this is awesome, man! I love this guitar." And that's exactly what I played when I picked this guitar up. That was the first thing I played, because I can't chicken pick for nothing. That's the only thing I can half-ass chicken pick, right? Um, and I saw this guitar, man. I was like, man, that is a beautiful Tele. And I've just never had an authentic Fender Tele. You know, I've had a couple of knockoffs. You know, a couple of J Tersers. We've talked about that brand before. Uh, J Terser is great, man. For they got some nice guitars on eBay. I used to look at those all the time a few years ago. Uh, but anyway, I saw this guitar and I liked it, and I didn't know, I didn't know I was going to get it. My wife goes to the store. This is right before Christmas. Does the layaway thing, puts down like I I don't know, $150, and I think this guitar went for like it was like six something is what it went for. I don't know, 650, 699, something like that. So she put down like 150 on the guitar, and and she went back a couple weeks later to make a payment on it, a layaway payment, right? And she gives the receipt to the gentleman, and he thinks that the guitar is already paid for, like she made her last payment, and he just wasn't paying attention. And he gets the guitar, and he's like, "Okay, ma'am, thank you for shopping with blah 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 music." And she's like, "Well, how about a case? Can you throw a case in the deal?" And he's like, "Yeah." So he went and got a hard shell case. It's sitting right out there in the other room, and he put it in a case and put it in the car for her, and she left. And she didn't tell me that story until some time had went by. I guess she thought I'd, think bad of her or something. I was like, "Oh, why would I feel bad? Hell, it wasn't your fault, I mean, it wasn't your fault." But that's, $650, $700 guitar for $150, but it's just, it was just a freak thing, man. It was crazy, you know, crazy thing that happened. So let's see who else is in here, man. Uh, Poo Ninja, man. Yeah, let's jam family style. Islander Wander. I can always mess that up, man. Sorry. Islander Wander. Hey, everyone. He says, Ed Dana says, whoa, a Tele. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is I use this Tele all the time when I play live back in the gigging days, which those are long gone. But this was really one of my main guitars that I played was this Tele all the time, man. I love using the Floyd Rose and all that stuff, man. But if you are familiar with the Floyd Rose, if you use a guitar that has that and you're playing live and a string breaks with a Floyd Rose, you talk about a nightmare. You might as well just unplug your guitar and go put it up and switch out guitar as soon as you can if you're playing live with a Floyd Rose, because that's what I've always thought about. That's like walking a tightrope when you're playing with the Floyd Rose. Don't get me wrong, I did it a lot, but that is one good thing I do like about the Wolfgang Specials, the tremolo system on there. It's not floating, so if a string breaks, it's not going to sound like a train wreck. You can have time to kind of, hey, let me switch out or whatever. Or if you have somebody to put a new string on for you or whatever, if you got a guitar tech or whatever. I've always been my own tech, if that's what you want to call it, you know. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Chat's moving. Thank y'all for being here. I did not think anybody would show up at 11 o'clock at night. It's Eastern Standard Time, 11 o'clock. Uh, 2019 Chaos Music, your guitar is a beauty. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Bumbleless, man. Bumblebiss. Bumblebiss. I always get that wrong. Uh-oh, it's Joe. Bumbleless, what's up, man? Bumbleless, what's going on, man? What now? Wait, I missed something. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Okay. I really wouldn't tell that story. Ed says, "Yeah, well, I mean, it was 2008, a long time ago, but it was just one of those freak things, man. I have to have a whammy bar. I love using the Floyd Rose system. I primarily use it all the time, but it's always been in the back of my mind, like, God, mighty man, what if a string breaks? We're gonna be screwed. And it's happened. But change your strings often. If you gig a lot, change them pretty often. You should be okay. I have had strings though, brand new strings. I'm sure this happened to y'all too. I've had brand new strings, put them on. They's on for like a day or two, and you go to play it, and pop, one will break. It's like, man, how long these strings been sitting in the factory or in the box, in the warehouse or something? Sometimes you get a pack that's old and you just don't know it. It's like when I used to smoke. You get a pack of cigarettes and they'd be nasty because they were old. Didn't it's weird. I'm glad I don't smoke anymore, man. Let's see. 2019 Chaos Music. I know I have a Kramer all messed up on the Floyd. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, that's right. JJ Collins. There you go. If you have a guitar with a Floyd Rose or any kind of floating system or whatever, always have a backup guitar. That's what I always done that, man. I had a PV Wolfgang special, and it had it wasn't a floating system, but it had that PV Floyd Rose style thing, and I played that all the time. I sold that guitar some years back, but I always had that and this. So, and I'd go back and forth between the two, but mainly I would do the PV Wolfgang Special, which was a great guitar, by the way. It was just of course, PV. You can probably find them on eBay, but it was great. I miss it, but I had to sell it, man. I needed the money. Needed the money. Oh man. Who did you? There's an accountant out there somewhere wondering where the other $500 is. I hope nobody got in trouble, man. I hope nobody got in trouble with that, man. If I'm missing your comments, just type it in again. I apologize if I'm missing anything here. Let's see. Dry heat. That's awesome. Sometimes the good people win. Now, see, that's the right attitude, man. That's it. That's what I'm saying, man. It's like sometimes it seems like with my luck, I always get the shit in the stick. Pardon my French, but you always try to do, be a law-abiding citizen and all that crap. Go to work, pay your bills and all that. And it's like you got the guy over here who don't work, don't have a job, and he always gets lucky with everything. It's like, damn. It's like, what? But yeah, sometimes the good guys do win. It's not much, but sometimes it does happen, man. Absolutely. Oh man, this thing is moving. Well, let me see. Let me see here. Uh, Ed says I've broken them, changing them. Oh, the strings. Yeah, man. Oh yeah, I've done that too. And how many times have y'all done this? Put the high E string on. Now this has been a long time since it's happened. It doesn't mean that it doesn't happen from time to time. I'll put it on, and that thing will hit right under your nail. Man, it's like a needle going in. It's like, oh, you know. R2R3, cheers, brother. Dropping in to say hello and thumbs up. for the Master of Cover Tunes. Thank you, R2, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I gave R2 and David a message earlier. I was like, y'all want to go live? I know I'm so bad about doing something last minute, and I apologize to R2 and David, man. I know they got to work in the morning and all that, but they're always good sports, man. So I'm sorry that I bothered y'all, man, and I'm sorry for the last minute thing. I was just sitting here trying to wonder what to do, man. Should I go live like this with the guitar or do the StreamYard thing, which I figured out how to do that last night. Boy, I just stumbled all over myself. So I was like, well, if I do the StreamYard thing, I got to have somebody on. If I want to go solo, I'll do it this way where I can play, try to have some fun, right? David Stafford, thank you, man. R2, yes. Maury, 213, time to get ready for a Dorian Joe. Time to stock up on the milk and the bread. Maury, he is funny. Hey, Maury, yeah, y'all, you're down there in the Columbia area. Is 26 closed in Columbia? I'm glad you're on here because you could tell me that. Because my wife looked on the news earlier and said that 26 eastbound was closed. And I was like, where at on 26? Is it past Columbia? I know it shut down at the 115 right past Columbia when you go past I-20. But I was like, did they back it up further where it shut down even further up, toward me? Just didn't know, man. Thank you, Pooh, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you, man. Always a pleasure to see you in the chat, man. You're hilarious, man. Thank you very much. Jim Guidry has made it to the chat. That is the man with the plan, Mr. Jim Guidry. All right, I'm trying to catch up here. Man, God almighty. Spanky McAllister. Hey, man. How are you? How are you, sir? R2 says, hey, Jim, what's happening, man? All right, Maury, 26 is running both ways now. Okay, so they opened it back up. Oh, wow. Okay, thanks, man. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Being a truck driver, that helps me out a lot, knowing that information, man. Maury also says 26 was only getting west to Columbia. That stopped this afternoon. Okay, so, wow. Man, that's wild. Okay, well. Okay, man. So I'll try to play a little something. I don't know how this is going to come across because I'm using the YouTube live streaming app. It might be kind of choppy. If it is, man, I apologize. I wish there was something I could do about that. So I was sitting here playing with this loop pedal. And so I was doing a rhythm like that. So let's see if I can, get close to what I was doing. Here we go, man. Let's see. right, man. A little bit of the Boss RC3 loop station jamming right there, man. I don't even know what that is. That's just something I made up, man. When you use a loop pedal, you have a brief amount of time. It depends on the pedal you're using. The bigger the unit, the more time you get to loop, right? This right here, though, the Boss RC3, I think it was like the lowest in cost for a looping pedal by Boss, I believe, and it was like $200, right at $200. So uh, it starts off in E. I'm just using doing an octave right there on E, and I drop down, and I do this. And I do like a build up right here. And then start again. So there's all kind of little things in there, man. Octaves and doing chords with open strings. I'm a huge fan of doing power chords with open strings. I got that from Alex Lifeson. How about that, Jimbo? There's a shout out for you for your band there. So it's that's where I got that from. I use that a lot, man, and it enhances everything. If you're not familiar with using open strings with chords, especially power chords, man, give it a shot. It's so much more tastier than if you just. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but if you add the high E and the B. It's cool. And I tell you who else uses a lot of open string stuff, and that's Ty Tabor from King's X. Anybody familiar with King's X? Oh my God. I love Ty Tabor. His tone is what always got me. His tone was incredible. It still is incredible. I think his latest solo album came out, I don't know, a few months ago. That's crazy. Let me look at the chat, man. Let's see here. What's going on in the chat? Make sure that I always try to get to the chat, man. I don't want to miss if somebody's saying something here. Stafford. Okay, he's talking to David. David, Stafford's Music Studio sounds good. Thank you, man. Very much. Ed Dana, pretty damn good for single coils. Thank you, man. Yeah, the one thing that I did get put in here is the hot rails. Seymour Duncan hot rails I got put in this guitar. That was one thing that I definitely upgraded. I've been a huge fan of the hot rails for Tele, so it's like a mini, it's a single coil, but it's really, a mini humbucker, really. So you get more punch, so man, it turned this thing from kind of a guitar to, I was like, holy crap. I mean, it just went, skyrocketed. Man, new pickups, man, can really turn your guitar into a awesome playing machine, man. Bumbleless, what's going on? He gives the guitars and cool. Thank you, man. Headphones, all right, man. Thank you, Mr. Collins. I appreciate that, sir. The Ditto has enough memory for to play Eruption twice. It says so on the literature. Oh, wow. I'm doing good to play anything from Eruption once, and I can't do that, you know? The way I play Eruption, I'm just gonna be straight up with you. I mean, I know it's not note for note. I'm not stupid, man, and I'm not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes, you know, but the way I do it, I'm like, "Ah, screw it, man. It's close enough," you know? Them damn pull-offs he does, I can't even do it, but I just fake it and do my own little thing, and I'm like, "Phew, what does it matter?" You know? And this isn't a talent show or something, you know, hell. And really, not trying to do a cop out here, but really that's a good thing, man, because you're putting your own spin on it and you know, you don't wanna be a copycat player too much, right? I mean, you don't wanna and, hey, thank you, man. Chad from Boston. Hey, thank you for the super chat, man. Very kind of you, sir. Thank you very much, man. Thank you. You don't want to be a copycat too much, right? You know, so I've always been a firm believer of doing your own thing. You know, even when I do cover songs, thank you, Chad, again. Thank you. Welcome, man. If this is your first, I've never seen you in the chat before, so welcome, man. Welcome to the show. What was I saying? Yeah, even when I do cover songs, there's some notes here and there that I'll do from the original solo, and then I just kind of do my own spin on things, you know. And to me, it's more fun that way, you know. I mean, if you played everything like the record, note for note, and there's nothing wrong with that. And my hat's off to people that can do that because I sure as hell can't, you know. But people that can do that, man, are, you know, amazing. But I like doing my own little spin too, you know? I mean, it kinda puts your own little taste on there, and to me, it's more fun that way, you know? Uh, I can't play a note I can't I can't play note for note. I follow arrangements. There you go. Yeah, man, I've always been, uh, Storm Surge. There you go. Yeah, man. And was that Jake is that Jake Frederick? Barely can read this on this tablet, I apologize. This print is so small on here. Yeah, I've always I don't know, man. I've always been a believer in if it sounds good to you, I mean, if your ears are trained, decently enough to know when something's in pitch, out of pitch, and if you've been playing long enough, you know what I'm talking about. If you're new at playing guitar and you don't know what I'm talking about, it takes a long time. Some people get it like that, and some people it takes a while. It took me a while, man. It took me a long time to know what, being in pitch on the guitar, you know, the simple things having a tuner, you know, I didn't man, I couldn't tell you how many times I played with I had like a s I'm old, I'm old school, so we called them jam boxes back then, had the cassette decks in them, and you put a cassette in and you know, I would attempt to play along with a song, and I remember playing along with, I remember the album, "I Never Said Goodbye" by Sammy Hagar, and that was before they named that they had the title of the album. I remember that. It was before that, and it just said Sammy Hagar or whatever. And if I remember correctly, and I remember trying to play this. There's this song on there, one of my favorite songs by him on that album, and it's called "Back Into You." If you love Sammy Hagar's voice, his vocal style, which I love it very much. I've always loved his voice, man. Even before he joined Van Halen, I always was a huge fan of his work. But anyway, it's the solo album he did while you know, not long after he joined Van Halen. That's right. Jim Guidry says great song. Yeah, man. Jim, you know what I'm talking about. Uh, Jim and I used to play that at the Blind Tiger years ago. Years ago. Remember that, Jim? Damn, man, that was a long time ago. And and so and I would put in the cassette and try to play along with it. And I was like, why does this sometimes it would be right in key with it, and sometimes it'd be out. Well, sometimes cassettes, the motors spin a little faster or a little slower, and then later CDs came out, and then everything's the same speed, right? But that song, if I remember it got this, Oh man, I love that song. That is I remember when I heard that the first time, I was like, I got to learn how to play that. So I listened to it, and I'm sitting there trying to play with the cassette on the jam box. I'm like, man, it sounds like something's wrong. That's because, I didn't even have a tuner back then. I was just, what I was tuning with or going by was an old little Casio keyboard, and I knew where middle C was on there. So I'd hit a C note, and then I would hit, a C on the thing. I'd hit that, and I would tune by ear. Man, talk about making it hard on yourself. That was just stupid. It wasn't until got ready to join my first band that I was introduced to a tuner. You believe that, man? Oh my God. That's crazy. Let me check the chat, man, real quick. Doing it your way. Yeah, man, I agree. So we're far enough inland where we shouldn't have to worry about anything, as far as I know. Are we still there? Are we dropping? What's going on here? I see the circle going here. Okay. Yes, we are out of the hurricane's way, Mr. McAllister. Yes. Jake Frederick, I didn't get Dorian, but I got some wind and rain outer bands of Dorian. Oh man, okay. Mixolydian. I knew that was coming. Yeah, Boombox Bumbleless. That's right. Ghetto Blaster. Yeah, that was all them old school names, man. JJ Collins, he chimes in about Sammy Hagar's solo album. That entire album is a masterpiece. I love that album, man. I love that album. Give me a thumbs up in the chat, man, if we're still going here, because it's showing the circle, but it still shows the video being played. If you're still here, just do a thumbs up in the chat or something, if you don't mind, please. Okay. Yeah, I see people are. I'm good. Okay. Thank you. All right. On mine, it's showing that circle, but on my phone, it's showing that we're good. So, okay. Thank y'all very much. I don't know why this has the circle going here. I couldn't tell you. It froze up for a second. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I was kind of like, what? Why is it freezing up? It makes no sense. But okay. Let me see here. If we're still going here, I apologize if any technical issues, y'all. I mean, I can see the people are here and they're dropping, they're coming back, they're dropping. So I'm like, uh-oh. Who knows, man? Who knows? The Circle is a great band. That's right, Jim. Okay. Is that Jake Frederick? What guitar do I think he left the word you out. Do you prefer playing? Because I have two guitars and I have Jackson Factory second edition and an Ibanez. What guitar do I prefer playing? Well, I got this one out because I haven't played this in so long, so I just wanted to give it a little playtime. But usually the guitar I like to play is one of the Wolfgang specials. I have two of those, and for me, they're really comfortable to play. And like I said, the Floyd tremolo system is not a floating system, so it's a lot easier to change the strings on. You don't have to deal with too many adjustments. So for me, it's the Wolfgang special. That's what I like. Yeah. Let's see. I learned a lot of stuff in the wrong key because guys were playing it in E flat. Oh yeah, that's something that just man, that drives me nuts. Is when you want to learn a song and it's in E flat. The thing that gets me is, does it have to be an E flat when you learn it? I don't think so. I mean, you go to look at it on YouTube as a song, like let's just say, for instance, just like Dance the Night Away. We all know that Van Halen's early stuff was tuned down half a step. But just for the sake of everybody else and making it easier on everything, do you have to tune down half a step? If you want to play along with the record, yeah, that's fine. But man, I'm not putting in a CD or something, or pulling it up on YouTube, and I mean, I don't know. That's just me. I'm like, dude, just do it in standard, you know. Maybe because I've been playing so long that's just oh man, that drives me nuts. You know? I'm like, especially if you do have just one guitar and it has a floating system. I'm not doing. Man, have you ever tuned a guitar down half a step or whatever with a floating and all the adjustments you have to make? That is a nightmare, man. That is a nightmare. Oh man. Let's see. Some bands tune between keys, which is tough to find the tuning sometimes. Yeah, it's tricky for real, man. For real. Spanky McAllister, do you still drive to Myrtle Beach for your job? Yes, sir, I do. And uh, the past 2 nights I haven't worked because of the hurricane. And they're talking about having us go tomorrow night. But on the Weather Channel, it shows the hurricane coming right up the coast, and Myrtle Beach is going to have the real bad storm surges and everything, right? Let me mute this microphone for 1 second. I apologize. Okay, what I'm going to do is I went ahead and went out of YouTube on this tablet, and I'm going to try to bring it back up because it just kept having that circle going, 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 going. So let's see if we can get back in it, and hopefully it won't have that. I don't know. If it does, it does. Nope, there it goes. Okay, it went away. I just had to. It was the tablet, and then okay, good. Get back to the chat here. Um, JJ Collins, you can't tune down with a Floyd. You have to set up the whole guitar. Thank you very much. That's right. That's what you have to do. You have to, and I learned that the hard way. I had a JS100 Joe Satriani model a long time ago, and I said I was going to put gauge 10 strings. I've always been a gauge 9 uh, string player. I've always loved gauge 9. I don't like real heavy strings, and so I had a JS100. It was great, and my mass decided to put gauge 10 strings on it, and I did at the time I didn't know that it came with all this aggravation to get it set up properly because that's more thicker gauge strings. That's more tension, and you have to like JJ said, you got to reset situate everything, and that was just I said I'll never do that again, man. I bet it took me, over an hour to get it set up right, and then just to find out that, I was like, man, these strings are killing me, man. I can't play these. I was like, I won't do that again. Sorry, I don't have a mute button on this mic, so I have to actually unplug it from the interface for a second. Or it's either that or blow your eardrums out. I don't want to do that, man. Um, 2019 Chaos Music. I got out of the stream and back in, and it's fine now. Yes, and sometimes that's the best thing to do if it freezes up. And people will be in the chat, and it's buffering. It's not working. I'm like, thank you for mentioning that, but there's nothing I can do. So if it ever buffers or it gets hung up, go out of it completely of YouTube and come back in, and it should be good. That's what I just did on this tablet, and it's fine now. So yeah. Oh man, let's see. Uh, nines, yeah, nines. I love gauge 9 strings, man. That's. Oh, and Jake Frederick, he also had an Ibanez. Yeah, I do too, man. I got an Ibanez, and I love it. I love it. It's an S series, but that thing is. I'm just going to be honest. That thing is hard to keep in tune. When it stays in tune for the amount of time that it stays in tune, because I'll use the bar a lot on it and do some of those Steve Vai little purrs or whatever. You can kind of flick the bar and get that spring vibration going on. It's a cool effect if you're not familiar with it. You can check it out. Some Steve Vai's playing. He does it a lot, And I mean, when I first heard that effect, I was like, "What the hell is that? How's he doing that?" You know. Anyway, but the Ibanez S series, this beautiful guitar. It plays great. I love it. But man, it's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest. Like, okay, let's say I'm tuning it up. I unlock the locking nut up here, tune it up to pitch with my tuner. I tighten the things back down, and the top two or three strings are way sharp. I guess because of the pressure that the locking nut's putting on. And I'm like, what the hell is that? You know, my other guitars don't do that. You know, so I don't know if it's just a cheap system or what. So I have to kind of play around, like, instead of tuning it to pitch, I'll tune it where it's a little bit at, and then put the locking nuts down, and it makes the tension, and I'm like, God, you shouldn't have to do that. You know, it's the craziest thing. I don't know, man, but I do love the Ibanez, and I would play it a whole lot more if I knew it would stay in tune like it's supposed to. But I think those S series are known for that. Or I think that's a big issue with those. The only reason I say that is because I had one, God almighty, I had one like in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it was the same thing. You know, you'd get it in tune, and once you use that bar, man, it was over. And I was like, why is this damn thing going out of tune all the time? You know, I had it tight as I could up here, you know, it was just, I guess, just cheap. Now this one doesn't do that. It does good, but it's just that initial tuning when you first, you know, put it on, you start, you know, tuning up, warming up. It's that first initial thing that might take 10, 15 minutes to get it where it's supposed to be. Then you're good. But I'm like, man, my other guitars don't do that. But who knows, man? Maybe it's just me, you know. Let's see. R2R3 Lockingnut, Eddie tuned down on every album with David Lee Roth. That is correct. Absolutely correct, sir. Sammy was a better singer and a cooler dude. Okay, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Those first albums with Dave are fantastic. They're great. But when Sammy came into the picture, man, and that's when I got into him. I was like, "Holy cow, man!" Uh, Come on, man. I mean, Sammy is an awesome singer. A lot of people just never accepted him as a member of Van Halen, and that's their opinion. But I always thought he was fantastic. You know, I just always loved his voice, man. And man, he can sing his ass off, man. Let's see. Can I do a Bon Jovi song? Oh, I'll be there for you. Not, I would have to practice that, Jake. I would have to practice it, man. I've never tried that song. I'd have to get the backing track and practice it and you know, just learn the arrangement. You know, if there's a song that I want to tackle, I usually mess with it for about a week. I'm not one of those guys that can just, you know, oh, you want to play that, you know, and spit it out. And I'm not. It takes me a while to, you know, try to learn it. And if I can't figure it out, I'll get on YouTube and go on a couple of channels and try to figure out how to play it. You know, if I can, you know. But I'll definitely keep that request on the burner, man. I definitely will. I mean, you know, it's nice for somebody to request a Bon Jovi song. Richie Sambora, fantastic, phenomenal guitar player, man. I wonder what happened there. I wonder if he just got tired of it and just decided to leave, or I don't know. I think that him and Orianthi were kind of together, weren't they? They were always hanging out together, and I thought that's kind of, I don't know. I just thought I was like, that's kind of, isn't that kind of off a little bit? I was like, isn't she like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I thought she was like in her late 20s or something, but hey, man, you know, who am I to say? I mean, whatever. More power to the dude, you know? I mean, I don't know. But did y'all see? Let me just segue into this. And I noticed on Twitter the other night that Orianthi posted, or she tweeted, excuse me, talking about Twitter. She tweeted, man, that she got jumped in LA, man. Some dude came up from behind her and grabbed her and started to choke her and tried to strangle her where she'd pass out, and she was able to get away. I guess she started screaming and and the guy ran off. Man, did y'all see that? I was like, are you freaking kidding? But it was for real, man. That was I don't know, 2 or 3 days ago when I saw it on Twitter. Look it up on Twitter if you don't believe me. Look up Orianthi on Twitter and look at her tweets where she put that, man. I was like, holy crap, man. But yeah, Jake, man, I'll see what I can do about the Bon Jovi song, man. I usually don't do a lot of ballads over here because primarily the audience is all male, which is nothing wrong with that. Guys want to rock. They want to, you really don't get a bunch of requests for a ballad. But I can do it. I can give it a shot, man. Don't know how good I can do it. I ain't making no promises, man. It might sound like crap, but I can try. You know, that is a great song, though. I love that song. I remember that from back in the day. It's a awesome song. Pound Cake, Finish What You Started. Why Can't This Be Love? Awesome. Oh yeah, Finish What You Started is cool. I never was a big fan of that song. I don't know why. It just didn't grab me. But Pound Cake, oh my God, that's when I heard that song. With the drill and all that stuff. Oh my God, man, that was cool. Oh, we go. Messed up. Yeah, that's right. It moves down a whole step. Something like that. That was horrible. You get the idea, though, right? Let's see. Now, what now? 2019 Chaos Music. I saw Sammy and Eddie twice together. Okay, live. They were awesome, but I remember Eddie coming on stage and could barely walk. Yeah, that was because he needed a hip replacement. Yeah, he eventually got a hip replacement surgery. Jim, if you're here, you know what that feels like. Yeah, he was having trouble walking there, and that might have been on the '04 reunion tour, maybe. I don't know. I can't be positive, but I want to say that's what it is. I don't know. Hot for Teacher, yeah, man. Oh God, yeah. Yes, it was before his hip surgery. That you're correct. Yeah, yeah. Panama, yeah, man. I love that. I love that song, man. Let's see. Trying to get my place here. Def Leppard Photograph, Pour Some Sugar on Me. Yeah, I done that one. Wasn't long ago. Wasn't long ago when I done that. That's how I play Photograph. I've seen. Actually, I saw. What was it, like a rig rundown with Vivian Campbell a while back, and he was doing some of that, and I was like, he was like down here somewhere, and I was like, uh-oh. But there's always more than one way to play something on guitar, right? So that's how I've always done it, you know. Let's see. Yeah, I did that. If you go back on this channel, Jake Frederick, if you go back some videos where the video is titled When You Take the Music Outside, I do the whole Pour Some Sugar on Me song. I do a cover version of that. I wanted to take everything outside. It was such a beautiful day. I took all my stuff outside and set it up and recorded. It wasn't live. It was pre-recorded with another camera, so the quality and the audio and everything was a lot better than what you're hearing here. What you're hearing here? What you're hearing at this time on this stream, because when you're live streaming, even though I got everything set up where I'm trying to have good quality, the internet always seems to chop it down some. So, what can you do, man? Let's see. Bon Jovi, Always, and Who Says You Can't Come Home? Yeah, those are good songs. Amazing library of songs, man. It's just the song that I vowed to never ever play again was "Wanted Dead or Alive" or "You Give Love a Bad Name" because those 2 songs were in our set list, when I was in a duo, when we did, me and another guy, we played with backing tracks all the time, did some gigs and stuff, and, man, I played those 2 songs. I never was that good at those songs back then, and I'm sure I wouldn't be that good at them now, but, it's just I get so there's some songs you play over and over and over and over, and you're like, "Man, I don't wanna I'm just sick to death of those songs." It's just you heard those songs all the time, and then we played them those 2 songs all the time. I mean, I was like, "God almighty, man." And my son always likes to give me hell about that. He's like, "You wanna play this song?" And he'll do that little lead intro to "Wanted Dead or Alive." I was like, "Alright now. Don't be doing that to me." Man, let's see here. Thank y'all for being here, man. I appreciate it very much. I know it's getting late. It's almost 10 to midnight. We still got some people in here, so thank you for sticking around. We're gonna do one more song. I won't keep you wrap up around midnight. I won't. I know people are, uh, you know, gotta work and all that stuff. So thank y'all for being here. I really appreciate it. Uh, let's see. Where was that? Bumbleless play best of both worlds. Then how would Highway to Hell. Wonder if AC/DC was an inspiration to. Yeah, that's. Let's see. Wait a minute. Yeah, I never thought about that, man. I never really thought about it. That's a great point, man. Great point. Let's see. Uh, what now? Do some videos of a run through of some of those songs I liked. Oh, okay, yeah, man. Panama. It's I tell you where the best place to go, man, is Carl Brown Guitar 365. Oh my God. And he's got I mean, I wouldn't mind doing it. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather send you to somebody who has more he's got more clout. You know what I mean? He's got 3 different camera angles. I mean, he's got a pro setup, man. And he shows you everything note for note like it's supposed to be, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's a great song. Carl Brown, Guitar 365. I've went to his channel a lot to uh to learn some stuff that I just forgot how to play. It's been, some of these songs have been so long, and I'm like, man, I can't remember how to play that damn thing. And I'll sit here for 30 minutes just killing time, and I'll just like, man, just get on your phone and go to Carl Brown Guitar 365. Excuse me, type it in, boop, and there it is. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's how you do it. And I was like doing something completely different. I was like, man, what the hell was I thinking? But yeah, those are great songs, man. Spanky McAllister, Epiphone just came out with a Vivian Campbell Les Paul. Yes, that is correct. Yeah, Vivian Campbell. Man, who was it I was watching? And there's no offense to this dude. Everybody has the right to their own opinion. I want to tune my guitar while I talk to y'all real quick. But he said that he felt, who was it? Somebody said they were comparing guitar players from Def Leppard. What was it? And he said he thought Vivian Campbell was more of a hack. And I was like, huh? A hack? I was like, why would you say that? Have you ever seen any of his remember those Hot Licks videos from back in the day? Or REH video, whatever. Hot Licks presents Vivian Campbell. I mean, I think back then he played Kramer guitars with Floyd Rose. I never looked at him or thought of him as a hack. Oh my God, he's an amazing guitar player, man. But to each his own, man. But yeah, I did hear about that, Spanky. That's cool. Yeah, living on a prayer. Uh, and because we can. Yeah, those are great songs. Hey, Showman Blues, man. Good to see you again. Hey, it's good to see you, sir. Thank you for jumping in, man. Thank you so much. I'm glad to see that you're back, man. That's awesome. I know you're having some difficulties there with your channel for something or another. Uh, Tele, yeah, yeah. I thought I would. I do not know that song, Mr. Jake. I don't know that song, man. I don't know how to play it. I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to let you down, but I'm a man of just a few songs. I don't have a big library uh uh in my head. You know, I'm doing good to remember what I'd done 2 days ago. You know? But if I didn't have to work like I do and I had more time, cuz I miss being in a band. I miss that a lot. That was a lot of fun, but it was, it's time consuming. It's very demanding. And that's just something I don't have time for anymore. And I just don't, you know. Can I play Thunderstruck? No. That lick is tricky. Man, I should be able to play that, but I can't. I mean, I can't, man. That is a I've seen a video on YouTube of some little girl playing it, and I was like, there's a certain way you go with your wrist, and I can't. Man, that kicks my ass every time. I'm not gonna tell you no lie. I'm like, God dang, how do you play that? Running with the Devil? Let's see. That's about the best I can do with Running with the Devil. That solo is supposed to be easy, but again, it kicks my ass, man. Do 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 do. And the right way you're supposed to play it, he does this weird little like I don't know the proper term. I can't. I could never do it. I already sucked at that. Yeah, you saw a girl playing Thunderstruck on a ukulele. Yeah, it's there's a bunch of talented people on YouTube, man. Uh, I'm just uh I'm just somebody that just likes to tinker around when I have the extra time. Uh, it always, playing guitar and playing music, playing with these backing tracks, that's just something that I've always loved since I was a teenager. And music does that to you. It takes you back. It keeps you forever young in here and in here. That's what music will do. It does for me. And it always brings great memories too. I mean, I can hear certain songs and I can remember, boom, exactly what I was doing uh, at that point in my life. And besides photographs, music does that for me as well. Um, Love in an elevator. Yeah, man. That's some good songs, man. You like the classic stuff, don't you? That's good stuff, man. We always have to keep the kids in us. That's right, man. I mean, I've always been a kid at heart anyway. Okay, we'll try to play this song here, man. We'll do one more. Because we're getting close to the top of the hour, the stroke of midnight, and we'll play this, and then we'll end it. So thank y'all for being here, man. Thank you for being in the chat. Thank you for the questions. Again, if you're not familiar with this channel, you can go back a few videos. You can see a bunch of cover songs that are shot with a different my Zoom Q8, and this right here, I love doing this so I can interact with y'all. It's the only way I can do it. So okay, let's try this and see if y'all know this song. Uh, I haven't seen this brought up in the chat, and you wouldn't, you wouldn't. But this is one of my favorite songs. Actually, it's my second favorite song from this artist, and I'll reveal what the top favorite is from this artist after the song. But I've always loved this song, so let's give it a shot, man. Let me unplug this microphone.
One, two, 3, 4.
All right, man. Billy Joel, Matter of Trust. I've always loved that song, man. I remember that video, and when it was he was still married to Christy Brinkley, and their daughter was just an infant. I remember that video. But my top favorite song by Billy Joel is Big Shot. I love that song. Big Shot is my favorite. That's my second favorite, Matter of Trust. I've always loved that song. All right, let's see here, man. All right. 2019 Chaos was a pleasure to be here. Great live stream. Just joined a few days ago. We'll be back to check out your stuff. Thumbs up. See you later. Thank you very much, man. Thank you for joining. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you to everybody who was here. It is after the midnight hour. So we're going to cut this out. And y'all be safe. Get some sleep. We'll see you next time. Thank you for being here. My name's Joe. This is the Joe Wentz Project TV, where guitars still live and breathe. See you. Bye-bye.